Thank God somebody said, is this recording? Because I was not recording, and that would have been a terrible mistake, especially with the content we're about to go into. So good looking out, whoever that was. But I can tell you that I'm having a hard time containing my level of excitement because we just had a blue diamond and above call this morning with our Eddie Head, our president, our CEO, Isaac Ben Shabbat, and also the corporate team from Ron Walden to Lee to Emily from the Club Seacret team about the announcements that are going to be happening this weekend. And honestly, what's interesting is I tell you guys that a lot of times they don't tell me the announcements because, they're like, Jesse can't keep secrets, because when I get good news, I just want to share it with everybody. And I always tell them it's not me who can't keep secrets, it's the people I tell my secrets to that can't keep them. That's the problem that I have. But this one, for legitimately, I think Isaac specifically, I was with Isaac this whole weekend. I was at his house. We had dinner together, and he didn't even tell me until today. They were like, hey, so here's the announcement. I was like, we're doing what? Like, whoa, come again? So, and the only reason why I know this is because a lot of the people that are newer to the Seacret family don't know what we're doing, because it was something that we did. It wasn't even as good as what we did when we first launched Seacret in 2012 in North America, and we have never done since as far as a promotion. And it is, I was like, y'all lost your mind. So what's exciting is that those that come to the event and those that participate in the events are going to be rewarded heavily for being at the events. So if you haven't gotten a chance to go yet, and I know for some of you going like, it's unreasonable at this point for me to figure it out, totally get it. You still got to go. Because I want to be that person that stands in the face of reason, that won't co-sign on your failure. I want to be the person that says, even in spite of all the obstacles and the challenges, it's still worth it for you to figure out whatever you got to do, over, under, or through, to find a way to get to this event, right? So it is going to be one of those that we are going to remember, because as we have been putting together this entirely new program, this compensation, learning how to, kind of put this blended family together, number one. But number two is to be able to create an entirely new program coming out of one of the worst situations the world has ever experienced. And we're not done with that. You guys realize that July 1st was 2 down quarters, was this officially considered a recession in the United States. Now, a lot of people get terrified about recessions. I'm like excited, not for the people who are getting hurt through the process, but because network marketing in every recession grows significantly. So we are perfectly positioned with the opportunities with Club Seacret to go out there and do some amazing things. And this weekend will be one of those opportunities. But what I want to do here is get into our guest trainer, because we've got some great stuff for us to be able to go over with you guys. We're going to be doing some role play, and I want to get a chance to introduce you to him. He's newer to the Seacret family, but he is not new to this profession. So in fact, he came to our last event that we had in Houston. Where were we? Dallas? God, I can't even remember where the heck we were. So
Houston. We were in Houston one week, and then we turned around and went to another event in Dallas.
That is right. There we go. Okay. So we were in Houston, Texas. Jeez Louise. I can't even remember. I'm in so many cities recently. This is crazy. So, but I came to Houston as a guest to come, and he said, listen, we want you to come meet Seacret. We want to meet you, the owners. I want you to meet the family. We want you to experience the culture that Seacret has. And because if you're looking for home, we found home, and we want to share with you our family that we've been building. And so he's been a documented 7-figure earner. He's been number 1 in 3 companies, I believe. But one of the things has not just an incredible story, but has decided to line his future, put his name on it, put his stamp on it, and building with Seacret. He was number 1 on the Billboard recruiting last month, so topped off number 1. And he is out here starting a blaze inside of Seacret, and you're going to be obviously seeing a lot more of them. But one of the things is I heard him do a training for his organization called the 5-point recruiting system and an exposure process. Because how many of you guys would like to be number 1 on the Billboard this month? Show of hands. Put them up, put them up, put them up. How many of you guys were like, I want to sponsor more people? So the number 1 guy who sponsored the most people in North America last month is here. And what he's going to be talking about is that system, which I know that companies, owners, and different organizations have paid him to train on this system for their companies, to bring in as systems for their organizations, to be able to show people really the simplicity behind what this business can really do. So ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome one of our newest platinums here in Seacret, Austin Zulauf. What's going on, boss?
What's up, brother? How you living?
I'm living good, man. I'm just trying to teach me how to grow a beard. That's what I want to know.
Well, first, I'm Greek, so it's natural. I've got hair everywhere except for where it counts. So, whatever.
So anyway, I think you look better bald. We'll just, so bald brothers. So, well, first off, so welcome, brother. And I'd love for you, as we've got kind of these families that are coming together from all over the world, is number one is, so I think it probably be great is you can share a little bit about your story, how, kind of you're Dun and Bradstreet. How did you get into this crazy world? And what led you to partner with Seacret, and then teach us the system, bud.
Yeah, man. So how I got involved in network marketing about a dozen years ago, I started in corporate America when I was 19, was with a company called Combined Insurance Company for about 7 years. And I did really well with them, but then there was a corporate restructuring, which basically meant that I was out of a job. So how many of you all have been fired or laid off from somewhere or close to someone who has? So that was where I was at. So I went from making about 20 grand a month to 20 grand a year, wound up in factories. It was around 2008 during another time of recession. And so I put my resume out there and no one cared how many people I had trained to be successful. So that's what wound me up in a factory. I was sleeping couch to couch, eating at the canned food drive with my daughter and what later wound up to be me, my daughter, and my mom. And then I was forced to move back in with my mom, which wasn't doing much better than I was. And I remember I was on Facebook. I found a guy that looked like he was doing well. Now, I didn't know him. He just looked like he was doing well. It said Diamond Executive at such and such company on his Facebook profile. And so I reached out to him. And that just proves that so much of what we do is perception. So much of life is perception, really. So, whenever you look at your social media and how it's set up, do you look like somebody that you would want to partner with? Well, he did. He had a microphone in his hand, suit and tie. So I reached out to him and asked him what he did, and he introduced me to the network marketing profession. And he said, if I were to send you a 10-minute video, when would you get a chance to check it out and give me your honest feedback? I was like, right now. So 10 minutes and 1 second later, I was back in his inbox and I was asking him what the next step was. So that's how I got introduced to network marketing, brother. It was actually a pretty simple process. You can't say the wrong thing to the right person.
I guess so. So, and tell me a little bit about how, so why Seacret? Obviously, when you've earned millions of dollars in this profession, you kind of get a chance to meet everybody. I know you've spoken on stage at the Association's Network Marketing Professionals. So you're not a stranger to the industry. You're not a stranger to companies. You've been VPs of companies. So from the field side and the corporate side. So, it's not like you're going well, I don't have everybody trying to get me into whatever it is that they're doing. So, so why Seacret? Why attach your card here?
Yeah, so you're right. Been in the field, been number one earner in 3 companies that don't exist today. Those 3 companies, it's yesterday's hits don't win today's ball games, folks. So if you've done something wonderful in the past, awesome for you. Doesn't matter. If I've been number one earner of 3 companies in the past, terrific. Doesn't matter. What matters most is today and where we're headed. And I have a pretty clear vision of where Seacret's headed and where our organization is headed with Seacret. But as far as why Seacret, man, I just mentioned one. Number one earner of 3 companies that don't exist. We wanted to build our house on the rock this time. I was down in Florida and I got on a conference call with a couple of my buddies, and we decided we had just seen enough of the shenanigans with network marketing companies. I've been asked to stand on stage and lie to the field as a corporate member and as a consultant, a speaker, even for companies. It's just wild, the stuff that I've seen when you pull back the curtain. And so we wanted a company we wouldn't have to apologize for, products that no one can say, oh yeah, we've got something like that, a product offering that really stood out. I only build binary compensation plans with a good check match and customer program. That's what I'm akin to being involved with. So whenever we were looking at Seacret, I knew Muzafer for the past 6 years. That didn't hurt. I knew that it's really hard to find a better quality human being than Muzafer. And then one of my closest friends knew Jesse. And what's funny is
years, yeah,
there was two people that we decided we're gonna really rock this thing together. It was me and my two friends. One of them, Jesse's one of his closest friends. The other one, his corporate headquarters for his office is right across the street from Seacret. I mean, it was like a message from God when one day, whenever he walked out his door and he was like, Seacret is right there. And then Muzafer hit me, and then it was crazy how things worked out. But the reason why Seacret is because we wanted something solid we wouldn't have to apologize for later on. We didn't want to be looking for another company in 2 years or whatever. And we wanted a truly unique product offering. And during the pitch, especially on the follow-up, whenever I'm talking to folks, no one does this. No one has what we have. No one has the exclusive rights to the Dead Sea minerals for a luxury skincare line partnered with L'Oreal, the largest cosmetic manufacturer in the world. No one has a world-class nutritional line brought to you by the world-famous Cone Health Institute out of Southern California with global patents on some of their formulations. And no one has partnerships with a vacation, travel, and lifestyle club that actually makes it more expensive for you to not be a member than to be a member. And by the way, I don't think anyone's giving away a 6-day, 5-night, all-inclusive 5-star resort vacation for two valued at $1,500 to $3,000 a piece just for signing up. So whenever we looked at the product offering, the comp plan, the corporate team, and the leadership, just kind of made sense.
Yes, sir. We got the deal. That's right, Jay. So, I think it's one of those things where, the people that I'm seeing out there, it's like, what's working? Because people ask me, what's working? And the answer is working. What's working is working. Because what I found is when I go out there and I show people Seacret, they want to buy, they want to join. When I was in Hawaii, they wanted to buy and join. When I was in Spain, they wanted to buy and join. When I was in, Netherlands, when I was anywhere that I go show people Seacret, it seems interesting how they want to buy and they want to join. Here's what's not working: thinking about what you should be doing. That's not working. Right. So what's not working is thinking about the right way to do it or the perfect way to do it or not doing it the wrong way. That's not working. What's not working is thinking, well, do I lead with travel? Do I lead with products? That ain't working. You know what's working? Doing it, going out there, messing it up. I don't care if you're in a dance class, you got 2 left feet, just dance like nobody's looking. Like, let's get after this thing. So now, granted, I get that there's this motivation and all these other things. And I think that we have some of the events that we have are some of the most inspiring, motivating, connected pieces that you'll ever experience this weekend. However, tactical training is very important, so knowing what to do and teaching your new person what to do to give them a pathway to get started so they can score in 24, so that they can get off to a fast start is really what this training here today is about. And part of the reason why I had Austin come on today, because if I was the one doing the training today, I would get terminated because I would give you all the announcements. Because here's how crazy the announcements were, just so you know, on the Blue Diamond and Above call. Normally we have a Gold and Above meeting on Friday where we go over some of the announcements for the weekend. And the leaders were so freaking out about the announcements. They were like, we can't wait till Friday for the leaders, the Gold and Aboves, to hear this. We need them to hear about some of this stuff now, not all the details, but some of it now. So they scheduled a Gold and Above call for tomorrow at noon. So from today's call, because that's how they were like, we need to get the troops rallied now. We can't wait till the weekend. This is crazy. So I am going to shut up and turn it over here to Austin, and I'll probably have some questions at the end just because I love asking questions. But so Austin, walk us through this system that has not just helped you become one of the number one recruiters here, but has helped you get to the top of everything you've built.
Yeah, sure. So one, I just appreciate you and everything that you do, Jesse. I appreciate Muzafer, Isaac, everybody, for sure. And I'm just glad to have somewhere that deserves our focus and attention, like Seacret does. People deserve to hear about what we've got. So what I'm going to go over is so simple. A 9th grade dropout from high school, Kentucky, See, a ninth grade high school dropout from Kentucky, like myself, could do it, So I almost wanted to do that on purpose, like as if to prove a point. But what I'm going to go over, I call the 5-point recruiting formula. Really simple, really easy to do. So whenever before I get into this, I just want to warn you first. No matter how good the system, you still have to work. It is network marketing, right? And so what Jesse's saying about getting this in front of people, getting eyeballs on the information, and just putting in the work, you still have to do that no matter how good it is. But I was recently hired to train on this 5-point recruiting method for another company as well. And I've trained this for years and years, and it works for 100% of the people that actually use it. Now, if you use it, every other Tuesday, you're probably not going to get great results, So even though it works really well, what my focus is to be number one on the billboard each month, which I'm going for it again this month. So my focus isn't to, recruit as wild as that sounds, that I'm doing a training, I'm recruiting, but my focus isn't to recruit. My focus isn't to get customers. My focus is just to put people through this process. That's it. A plus A equals R. Attitude plus activities equals results. I've got the right attitude in the sense that I'm emotionally detached from the outcome, right? And I'm going into it just to have some fun with the process and put people through the process and focus on the activities. And because I have the right attitude and I'm in the right activities, just focused on putting people through that process, I get the results. So let's get right into it. I'll go ahead and show you. I didn't make any slides or anything like that. I'm the most not tech savvy person you'll ever meet. But the 5-point recruiting formula is very, very simple. Step one is simply reach out and catch up. Be brief, because you don't want to seem disingenuous, because you're pretty much going to go right into it. So if I'm reaching out to somebody, it might be exactly like what you said. See right here is, hey, you, how you been? How's life been treating you? What's new? And then whatever they say, I'm going to take a sincere interest, but I'm not going to draw out the conversation. I'm going to get right into sharing my story, which is part 2. So the second step is share your story to pique interest. How you're going to do that is express that you're busy, and then use the phrase, hey, I've got an interesting story for you. If you got a couple minutes, is now a good time. Now, another way you can do that is to say, hey, I've got an interesting story for you. If you can listen to a quick voice note, if I were to send one, can you listen to it now? The whole idea is you want to be able to share your story real quick just to pique their interest. Now, it doesn't have to be like a Nobel Prize winning story or anything. It's your story. And it's whatever unique story that brought you to Seacret. It could be a story about the leadership, about the product, about the opportunity, a story about an event you went to and you just had to be involved. That pivotal moment that brought you to say, okay, I'm ready. This isn't even what I do. This is who I am. I've got to be a secret agent, right? So if for whatever reason you can't figure out a story to use, and by the way, you want to share this story through voice. I like to build through the phone, but for some reason the phone just intimidates people sometimes. But I feel like you really can't connect with somebody just through text. They can't sense emotion. And if I'm on the phone with somebody, then we can have a real conversation. And that's really what we're doing at the end of the day. But if you can't think of a story to share, I thought of one for you. Now, if you read this in a voice note, it should take you about 40 seconds, 40 to 45 seconds. I'll go ahead and read it to you real quick, just so you can kind of see the pitch and tempo if I were sharing it in a voice note. So I've already reached out to this person, said, hey, what's up? How you been? What you been up to? What's new? And they said, whatever was new. I said, hey, that's cool. Hey, listen, I'm actually about to go into a meeting here in just a moment, but I've got an interesting story for you. If you got a minute to listen to a voice note, if I send one, will you listen to it real quick? They say yes. So I'm gonna say, hey, Jesse, you know, if there's some things I've realized from the past couple of years that I need to focus on more, it's my physical and mental health, my finances, and my passion to really make a difference in the lives of others. Those are three areas that I can honestly say I haven't been entirely fulfilled in. So I've been looking and looking for a while on how to grow in these three areas. Then one day, one of my old friends I hadn't spoken to in forever reached out to me out of the blue, and we had a conversation and it just clicked. I mean, I found it finally. And I really like your thoughts. So if I were to send you a little info for you to take a look at, when would you get a chance to check it out and give me your honest thoughts? Very simple. So hopefully you took a picture of that or something, but it takes about 40 to 45 seconds. The idea is I want to share under 90 seconds, but I really want to aim for under 60-second story. And it's just used to pique their interest, not to satisfy the interest. If you're taking notes, write this down. You're the messenger, not the message. Okay, so all you're doing is piquing their interest and then pointing them towards the information. So with that story, the next, and how I kind of wrap that up, how I wrap that story up with a nice little bow, is the if I would you technique, which is step 3. Use the if I would you technique. All right, so if I were to send you a little info, when would you get a chance to check it out and give me your honest feedback? Now, here's something that's been working really well for me. This is how I've trained on it for years. But I send the 12-minute video whenever, so if you're probably sitting there, what does Austin send people? What they get from me is they get the 12-minute video. If they're a doctor, they get the 12-minute video. If they are a cashier at McDonald's, 12-minute video. If they can't spell MLM, they get the 12-minute video. I don't cater to different people depending on what they do. I treat everybody exactly the same. They get the same information, the same peak, the same everything, identical. Okay, because I'm just not sharp enough to figure out how to pitch every different type of personality in the world. So whenever I wrap up my story, here's how I've been doing it, and it's worked really well for me, is I say, if I were to send you a quick video, when could you check it out so we could hop on the phone and I could fill you in on the 3 really important things that are not mentioned in the 12-minute video. Now that's brilliant for a couple of reasons. One, they're definitely.
Hold on, Austin. I'm sorry, I got to interrupt you. And this is why this is so brilliant. I want to reiterate this. Please pay attention to this. I know everything you've been doing right now is fire, but this one right here, please pay attention to. And here's the reason why. There was just a comment in one of the things that was like, hey, we need the updated video. Don't get me wrong, there is some updated videos and there's some stuff coming. But this one line allows you to use any video that has nothing to do with what's currently, and it also gives you response time and a reason for them to communicate with you, because there's something that's left out. Anyway, I apologize. Keep going. I love you.
Yeah, I love you back. But no, it's worked for me really well. Before, I mean, you're probably thinking, if you're just getting started, oh man, I get ghosted or people stand me up. Yeah, me too. And Jesse too. And Muzafer too. They're great. And we all it's the same for everybody. But with this, it's decreasing the amount of people that stand me up and the amount of people that ghost me dramatically. Okay, dramatically. So whenever I share my story to pique their interest, I just wrap that up with the if I would you, kind of a variant. We're familiar with that word nowadays, right? So if I were to send you a little info, when would you get a chance to check it out so we could hop on the phone and I could fill you in on the 3 really important things that are not mentioned in the 12-minute video? And then, by the way, what I share with them on the follow-up, and all training is just a suggestion, guys. So this is just my suggestion and what works for me and what works for the other people that are doing it. If you do it, it'll work for you too. With I'm giving you a track to run on. It doesn't have to be word for word. This is how I say it every single time. So if you're, listening to me and, you're someone that I personally sponsored, you're probably recognizing these words. But what I share with them on the follow-up, the 3 things that I share is I share with them the Club Seacret daily deals in telehealth, and an example, and it takes me like 60, 90 seconds to share the 2. I share with them the fact they get 3 vacations if they come in at the highest pack and the value that's in that. And then I real quickly share with them, I'm like, hey, you're able to look at your messenger or your phone right now, right? And I send them the visual picture of the builder bonus, and I go over that real quick. The whole 9 takes me maybe 4 minutes. Those are 3 things that aren't mentioned in the 12-minute video that if I'm on the phone with them, I wouldn't do it unless I'm on the phone. It's really easy and quick to share. If you want to share one thing, the one thing that's really important that isn't mentioned in the 12-minute video, that's cool too. It's just something that's increasing the amount of people that actually follow up and don't ghost me. Okay. So the next step 4 of the 5-point recruiting formula is to set the follow-up appointment, then send the information. People do not get info from me until we have a follow-up appointment. It'll be a stalemate. We'll both be drawing Social Security. My family will be picking out flowers for my grave before I send them any information if we don't have a follow-up appointment. That's just how I operate. Now, here's how that sounds. Okay, so if I were to send you a little info, when would you get a chance to check it out so we can hop on the phone and I can fill you in on the 3 really important things that aren't mentioned in the 12-minute video? Oh, I'll get the chance to check it out at 7 o'clock. Cool. I'll actually be busy at 7, but I should be wrapped up by about 7:15. Does that work for you? They say yes. I'm like, great. Hey, listen, I'm gonna go ahead and send that info. I'm really busy, but I promise you I'll carve out some time in my schedule at 7:15 to make sure I follow up. Are you positive you'll have checked out the information at 7:15 works for you? They say yes. I'm like, great. Look forward to chatting then. Talk soon. Send them the information. And then, and that's pretty simple, right? And then you'll never guess the final step. Follow up, and follow up. Understand that the point of every exposure is not to close your prospect. It's meant to get them to the next exposure. It's meant to continue the conversation, to build the relationship. And if you are taking notes, write this down, very important. Marry the activities, divorce the results. I want to wrap up my part by saying you're going to work anyway. The majority of the people on this call are going to work anyway. If not this, you're going to clock in somewhere, or your salary position, whatever it is. We're used to working. All right. If you work this and use this 5-point recruiting formula just the way that I've shown you, if you work it like a job, it'll work you out of your job. Okay. It only works if you do. So with that, I just want to say that I appreciate the platform to share this with everybody. Jesse, back to you, my friend. Thanks.
Oh man, that is fire stuff. So let's hey, since I know you're not like the techie person, but those notes that you have that you just shared, could you just copy and paste them to me real quick? That would be awesome. And then that way I can put them out in our groups and our, all that kind of stuff. So actually we can put them right here. So a couple things before I got some questions for you here on this. So because what works about this is the simplicity of it. And what I love about it is, inside of the conversation of saying, these are some areas that I have felt unfulfilled in. So you can see if there's the vulnerability in there, it's not just like, hey, are you open to an opportunity? You know what I mean? So, because God knows everyone's heard that conversation 7 bajillion times, right? So, and the hey girl, approach, or the all the stuff that we've probably been pitched with like so many times. So keeping it really this simple of this process and some of these nuances that I think are really important. But in this, Austin, so let me ask you a question on your follow-up, because I'm curious about it, right? So you say you're going to watch the call at 7, watch the video at 7. I'm going to call you at 7:15. They don't answer, right? So I'm sure that's never happened to you, right? So
It happened.
So they don't answer the phone. When do you follow up again, and how do you follow up?
Sure. So let's say that I'm talking to Maria, right? And I see Maria over there. What's up, Maria girl? How you doing? So let's say that, I'm following up with Maria. By the way, I don't know if you guys caught it. People relate being busy with being successful. So if they say 7, I don't care if I'm just sitting around in my PJs watching SpongeBob, I'm busy. So someone recently said that seemed disingenuous, and I'm like, okay, fine. So if they say 7, I say, I'm actually busy at 7, but I should be wrapped up by 7:15. The idea is that people relate being busy with being successful. So no matter what time they say, I'm busy at that time, but I'm good 15 minutes out. So I call Maria at 7:15. She doesn't answer. I shoot her a quick text and I say, hey, was just calling you for our scheduled appointment. Talk later. Done. Within the next 48 hours, one thing I'm not going to do is call her right back or text her and be like, hey, butthead, you're better. So I'm not going to, reach out to her that day, and I probably won't reach out to her the next day.
That's from the book, How to Lose Friends and Alienate People. If you haven't read it yet, that's
right. I see Easy over there just grinning. Yeah, exactly right. So let's say I called her at 7 tonight. I'm gonna shoot her that quick text, right? And then I'm gonna leave her alone tonight and tomorrow, but I'm gonna set a reminder for the next morning. So about 48 hours out, I'm going to shoot her a quick text, and I'm gonna say this exactly. I'm gonna say, hey, Maria, sorry, I got so busy the other day, I forgot to follow up with you. I've got some time later today. When can we catch up? Very simple. And write this down if you're taking notes. You can be right. I'd rather be rich. We both know Maria stood me up. We both know that, and she knows she stood me up. I know it, but give her the benefit of the doubt. You never know what happened. She might have gotten cold feet. She might have, had an allergic reaction to a medication and wound up in the hospital. You don't know. So I give her the 48 hours, and then I text her and I say, hey, I'm so sorry that I got so busy the other day. I forgot to follow up. I've got some time later today. When can we catch up? Very simple. Beautiful. After that, I'm not going to harass her anymore. The next text or phone call or conversation that we have won't be about business, because I'm not going to take my business and beat people over the head with it.
That's right. So I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So, all right, follow-ups. Now, let's say somebody watches the video, right? So they watch the video, you get them on the phone, and they watched it, and you said, I want to follow up with you on the 3 things that are not in the video, and you're going to talk about the getaways, you're going to talk about telemedicine, you're going to talk about daily heals, whatever that is. Then they go, great. Now they go, I just don't know. I got the money. I don't got the time, right? The 2 biggies, right? So looks good, but where are you going with that?
Yeah. So whenever I follow up with somebody, I've got 3 questions. 1, did you get a chance to check out the info I sent you? They say yes. I'm like, cool. What'd you like about what you saw? They say what they liked. And I'm like, great. That's my favorite thing too. What else? And then they say whatever else. And I say, what kind of questions did you have for me? And then on the question where they say, what kind of questions it doesn't matter really what they say if I'm going to do a 3-way call. But a lot of times I don't. I do sometimes. And I encourage, if you're in your first 30, 60, 90 days, do a 3-way call, do a 3-way chat, do a 3-way of some sort. There's so much power in it. So, if they say, well, I had a question about, the 3 vacations, at the Pro Pack level. You're like, great. I'm curious what my partner, Jesse Macpherson, would have to say about that. Jesse has actually been in this company for over a decade now. He's the #1 income earner in North America. In fact, he invented water so he could walk on it. Hold on one second real quick. Let me get him on the line. And I texted Jesse in advance and let him know I was going to be doing a 3-way call. I had him available. And so I just put Jesse on the line, and then I mute myself completely because I can talk to them at any time. I just edified an expert and put them in contact, and he's going to do his job and all that sort of thing. So, but if they don't have the money, if they don't have time or whatever the case may be, for me, I'm just not in the business of convincing people and this is just where I stand on the subject. So if I didn't, so when value exceeds cost, people buy. Write that down. When value exceeds cost, people buy. The root of every objection is they don't see the value. So if they saw the value, they'd come up with the money, they'd have the time, they wouldn't need to talk to their spouse. It just doesn't matter to me. There's no one that can say anything to convince me otherwise, because I know for a fact, the root of every objection is they don't see the value. I was sleeping couch to couch, eating at the canned food drive when I came up with $1,320 to join my first network marketing business. And I was working 4:30 p.m. to 5 a.m., 12 to 14 hours a day, 7 days a week, whenever I first joined. So the no money, no time excuse just doesn't work with me. I know the root is I didn't do a good job building value. How you do that is, one, your posture, the weakness that they sense in you or the strength they sense in you from your belief level. So if you're getting that objection, get your belief level up a little bit more. You might not get that objection as much. And with the story that you're using to pique their interest, you can build value in that. And then whenever you follow up, good posture, and if you have the 3-way call and you edify that person properly, these are all things that are going to build value in your value proposition. But personally, if someone tells me after all of that, they don't have the money or they don't have the time or I'm too short or whatever, I just say, I continue the conversation, and I bam, fam, I book a meeting from a meeting. I'm like, cool, hey, listen, I totally understand, money's tight. Depending on the situation, I might say, well, I'm just curious, is this something that you really feel like you want to do? And if they say, yeah, I'm like, cool, how much too much is it? And then what can we do to figure out a way to get started?
Write that down in case you missed it. How much is too much?
How much too much is it? Yeah.
How much too much is it? How much too much is it? I've never, at 20 years, I've never heard that before. And that is
Jesse, so here's the thing. So I just don't like to convince people so much that I could have probably recruited 10 more people last month if I just did some responses. But sometimes if the money response for me personally, I just ask them straight up, hey, Jesse, do you really honestly feel like this is something you actually want to do? And if they say yes, I'm like, cool. How much too much is it? And they say, it's right now it's about $350 too much. I've got about $100 to my name. I'm like, okay, I understand. Let me ask you a quick question. And I love doing this one. And this might be too much in someone's face for some of y'all. So how long have you been in the workforce, Jesse? How long have you been working in a job, for a living?
10 years.
So I want you to think about something. In 10 years, if you haven't been able to save $1 or $2 here and there to get $400, where do you think you'll be in the next 10 years?
Yeah, probably about the same.
Probably in the same spot. If you keep doing what you've been doing, you're going to keep getting what you've been getting. What we're talking about is something different. Let me ask you, how much too much is it, and how are we going to come up with that? And then we're going to work together to figure out how. We're going to set a target date for them to launch their business. If they don't have the money today, we're going to figure out how to have it by Friday. And what I'm going to get them doing as an activity is getting me on the phone with people between now and Friday and pre-building, because they're launching their business on Friday.
I like it. I had a leader talk to me yesterday. She was like, I had a person that had a launch on Friday. She called me, tried to cancel. And I told her, I said, hey, listen, here's a problem. I have a no cancellation policy. So I will see you at 7 o'clock and I hope you have some people there. Otherwise it's going to be me and you. And she got 18 people on it and launched her business. I love that. That's some posture. So I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So Austin, so a couple things here real quick. I just want to kind of show off here. So pre-building is just inviting to an event, if I'm not mistaken. That's one of the questions here in the comments. So inviting to a presentation where you can invite people to where they can introduce you and you can show the world of Seacret. There's a couple things I want to make sure you guys know about here in your back office, in case you aren't paying attention to here, is inside your back office, we've got the billboard up for this month. Now, here's interesting right now. So we're halfway through the month. These numbers are low, but I know some people that are going after this thing here that are going to be going after these big prizes. All right. Now, top 10 get product credit, or 10 through 6 get product credit. 5 through number 1 get cash. And those cash prizes actually grow based upon how many points you get at the end of the contest period. So in the back office under promotions on the left-hand side, you're going to see this graph that shows you that there's up to $10,000 for first place that's available. So, but if you go out there and get 30 points and end up in first place, we're talking a $5,000 extra bonus. Now the points are per pack, a preview pack, a point, power pack, 2 points, a pro pack, you get 3 points for this inside of your back office. But guys, what I'm telling you guys is that we are going to be putting together these systems. And I know Jefferson is on here, who's been working like crazy in creating more systems and targeted programs and things that are simple and duplicable for us to be able to speed things up, because complexity is the enemy of execution. If we want to execute faster, we need to get simpler. Now, that's sometimes challenging when we keep giving you more cool things to talk about, right? This weekend, we're going to be giving you even more cool things to talk about. But one of the things that we're going to be doing is creating more systems for you to be able to spend less time explaining and more time producing. And by producing, what we mean is taking more people through this prospecting system, taking more people from not knowing to knowing, and just answering and asking the questions to lead them down the path to in or lead them down the path to out. And because we're not concerned about who says yes and who says no. In fact, if you guys remember, we put up that contest that we talked about last week, where we talked about the 100 no challenge, right? So this 100 no challenge, where it was like, get 100 people to go through the 5-step system here that Austin talked about, and go through it and get 100 people to watch the video and ghost you or say no, right? Watch what happens to your business. I dare you to get 100 people to tell you no, and then tell me this thing doesn't work, right? So, but we are also, so last night, Muzafer's at my house. He took a red eye over to the East Coast. He's in Miami right now doing events. But I'll tell you what, guys, I'm super fired up because we just started putting together, we filmed brand new comp plan videos, because how many of you guys are like, man, how do I understand this whole comp plan deal, right? So look at this guy, look at him, right? So we filmed him up here, and he basically went through every aspect of the compensation plan, but not only did he go through all the aspects, look at it when it's done, right? So it's all drawn out, the whole 9, right? Now, the reason why we aren't showing this video to you yet, and we didn't finish editing it, and the reason why is because there are things in this video that are not being announced until this weekend. And so that are going to be going into effect over the course of the weekend. But this is just one of the tools. And your team here is aggressively working on upgrading and enhancing and elevating our systems here for us to be able to continue to simplify the process for a new person to get started and going, what do I do? Okay, what do I do and how do I do it? Right? Because when a new person gets on, that's what they're looking for. And as much as we can motivate them, if you like, you could motivate people to the hilt, but if they don't know what to do, you just got a bunch of motivated people running around, have no clue what they're doing. Now, there isn't a true sense of ignorance on fire that is important in our business. We're not needing you to be knowledgeable. We need you to be directed. So in other words, this is how to do it. And when you do this, you get a result. Right? Just like I have no clue what happens in my BMW when I push start. I don't know. Right? So now, should I probably know more about it? Probably. But here's what happens. When a light comes on that something's wrong, I take it to an expert. I am not the expert, but I do know how to drive it. I know how to drive my vehicle. And what we want to get all of you guys doing is learning how to drive this vehicle Seacret much faster than many of you are doing it right now. Because some of y'all have the Seacret vehicle, the fastest vehicle that I'm aware of in this industry, in this profession, at this time, at this date in 2022. And you got this thing parked in the garage and you're trying to be like, I just don't know how the engine works. Who cares? I don't understand check match generator. Stop it. Stop it. Go drive the car. And are you going to get a flat tire? Yes. Are you going to call a mechanic when you have a problem? And who are your mechanics? Who are your experts? That's your upline. You know, hey, check engine light on, something's wrong. And we're going to direct you while you're moving. Hey, there's a challenge up here. There's a speed bump over here. Hey, there's a sharp left turn over here. Be careful. But we cannot direct you if you are parked in the garage with this opportunity. So don't wait for all the lights to turn green before you leave the house. It's time to get out there and utilize this stuff. So everybody this weekend, here's the thing. So Jay, I haven't said this before because I got Peso on here and I know you're one of our United trainers that's going to be speaking here this weekend. So for a long time, like I don't have a lot of that, like, oh, well, they missed out bone in my body. I just don't have a lot of that, you know? So like, but right now I have one of those in me. I've got one of those that's on the back of me right now being like, man, the people who are not with me no more, like, I'm embarrassed for some of the people that made decisions based upon what I know is coming because they didn't have a short window of belief or faith or loyalty into what it is that we're doing and where we're going. So in any event, this weekend is going to be very powerful. Now for the new people, you guys are stepping into something so exciting for us to be able to go build and go create. So to all of the new people, we want to welcome you to Seacret. You don't have to be, revenge success. Although Jim Rohn says sometimes you got to go buy a new car and park it on their lawn. So if that's your thing, that's your thing. For some of you, they're like, that's not motivating for me. I want to go build more schools. Great, let's go build some more schools with you. So whatever it is for you, but the most important thing that I can tell you guys is this: if you believe in what you are doing is huge, belief in the system, belief in the products, and belief in yourself. And for some of you that are like, man, I don't know if I have that, get there this weekend. You are going to get an injection beyond anything that I've seen, because this weekend we're not changing anything. And this is important to understand. Over the years in Seacret, we've done a lot of changes. This is not a change. What these are basically additions to make what we currently have better, faster, sleeker, smoother, and add more value to the existing programs that we have. We don't need to change nothing, but here's what we do need. We need more people going out there doing what Austin's doing. So we need more people out there that are going out there and presenting, showing, and putting people through this system and doing it as fast as humanly possible. And here's my God honest belief: the biggest and fastest horses on the track aren't in Seacret yet. They haven't enrolled. I believe that the number one earner that's going to be, they're going to replace me, they're going to blow by me, hasn't been signed up yet. They're still out there. And the people that are building this community and understanding that that is what we're building, that the world will be our playground, love is our legacy, connection, community, value, inspiration, all those things inside of this world called Club Seacret. We are not a product company. We are not a travel company. We are a lifestyle community that gives people access to the good life. That's what we're in for. And so we will see you guys this weekend, golds and above, noon tomorrow. Be prepared, wear 2 socks because we're going to blow one of them off tomorrow. So, and we will see you guys this weekend in boot camp. If you haven't got the registration, go get yourself there now. Austin, thank you, my brother. And text me over that stuff. I want to shoot that out to people. So massive love. Let's go cricket. Bye.